special codes in the discount. We have special codes in the discount that give you a code that gives you a discount.
What just happened?
Pull up.
Hello and welcome back today to sunny Britain, where we're working outside. We're doing a solar install at this beautiful property in the British countryside, and of course it's chucking it down with rain. We're prepping today for a big solar project that we're doing in a couple of weeks' time. So we're going to talk you through all the prep work that we do before installing a solar system. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's show you what we're up to. We're putting solar panels on both sides of the roof, but that's not happening today. That's happening next week. So next week the scaffolding's going up, but before the scaffolding goes up, we've got a lot of cables to get in on the outside of the building. That's why we're here today. We're running a Zappi to the garage, and it's a massive cable route, about 60 meters of 10mm EV Ultra cable we're using, which we've never used 10mm EV Ultra before, so that's going to be interesting. It's going in a duct under the ground, so there's a duct going from the garage to the house here. Then from here, we've got to get along to this cupboard, so we're going to have some fun drilling under here probably into this cupboard, and this is where all the magic is going to happen. So I'm going to be staying in here in the dry, and I'll let John and Ruben do all the work in the rain. But basically on here we're going to be putting our inverter, our battery, and we're going to be putting a new consumer unit which will do all of that, and we'll do the Zappi as well. So this is a sub distribution board going here, and then from here we've got to get a cable back to the main consumer unit, which I'll show you in the house. So we're on the other side of the house now. How on earth are we going to get a cable from here around the house when this is a terraced house through to the other side? This cupboard is our secret weapon. So what has happened here is that there used to actually be a passage going all the way through from one side of the house to the other. That has been blocked off because they put a log burner in the middle. But we can get access above the log burner if we drill through here. We can drill through to the other side and get through right the way to the other side of the house where our battery and inverter and all that stuff are going to go. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we're up for the challenge. So John and Ruben, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get a cable from here all the way back to the house with no joints. It's a big 10mm EV Ultra cable. Are you up for the challenge?
Light work.
The van's right there. We could just drive home.
I'll take that as a yes, because you don't have a choice anyway. Right, okay, so I'll show you the route and then we'll get stuck in, shall we?
This is a portable toilet. If you get caught.
Oh my goodness.
They're pretty cool. It's unisex. It's got a nice cup on it. You just go into that and
is that a used one?
No. There is a used one in here though, just to be warned. I was travelling quite a lot yesterday.
That is the length that we go to not use customers' toilets.
That's when you've got a like 80-mile drive. Sometimes you can't make it. So yeah, they're there if you need them, mate.
So we've got these backer boards that are going to go on the wall here. It's not really like super necessary, but as it's a brick wall and it's not very even, it makes sense for us to give ourselves a nice smooth flat surface to work on. And also these are fireproof boards, which is kind of recommendable if you're fitting, you know, solar inverter and battery and stuff. It's not like the bricks are going to catch fire, but it's just a nice little touch. The first thing I'm going to do really is prep this space, clean it all out, get the boards mounted on the wall, and then I'm going to plan out exactly where the consumer unit's going to go, inverter's going to go, battery's going to go, plan it all out, and then it'll be pucker.
Rolling. It's not very round anymore, is it? So me and Ruben are going to focus on getting the EV and the Cat 5 in. We're going to reel it off here and feed it down the tube there to come up there and measure it off. So we're halfway through the run, and then we've got all that slack to run that way. But we think this is going to be the easier way to do it rather than pulling, because this end's a bit longer. Hopefully it'll make less work for us. we'll see anyway. Where's the start of this?
And then just hold on to it as it spins.
Yeah, I was going to sit down on it as well. Hold on, whoa, whoa.
Oh, back it up there.
Okay. Yeah, I think they threw it from quite high up. They're ruining our day at the moment. It's on the deck. Come on, pull up. Look at them go. There's like a, what are those ice dancers? Torval and Dean.
Sorry?
Do you even understand that reference?
Oh dear. I'm losing him.
Although
This is definitely unusable now.
was Torval the chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, why did we put her as the big one? Torval was the woman, mate. She was petite and got thrown around, and you've done her as the big drum. Now dancing the bolero, Torval and Dean.
Have you ever taken apart a fireplace before? That's what we're doing today. So under here, this is an addition, which was basically added inside the old passageway that went from one side of the house to the other. So that's why we've got a brick wall on that side, brick wall on that side. That's our cupboard behind there where all of our gear is going. But to get through here, we've got to try and get through the void above this fireplace. So I've got to take these panels down and hopefully not break stuff. So, hoping that, oh yes, perfect. That is a massive void, which is perfect for us to take the cables through. Now, I know what some of our keyboard warriors, our dear keyboard warriors, are thinking. You can't run a cable behind a fireplace, that's going to get hot. Well, you see, the great thing about this particular fireplace is that the duct for it is actually like really well insulated, so it's not going to give off tons of heat. But we will make sure the cable's protected when it goes near the duct, just to make sure it's not going to overheat. Cable is rated at up to 70 degrees anyway, but we'll make sure that there's no issues there, don't worry. Oh, feel like a chimney sweep. So that is the part that I was not sure about, which is all good. Now we're going to drill through from both sides and see if we can pull our cable through.
So we got it through the duct. It was a nice easy push through. We've just measured it off long enough. Now we're just going to navigate the obstacles and then have a look at navigating that step. I'm not sure if we're going to go through it or around it. Apparently it's hollow. We'll try.
It is now officially raining heavily enough to don an Artisan beanie. Want some goodies? Courtesy of Elijah. So this is the Arubanito stuff. Some safe style glasses.
Oh, these are the ones I've been rocking since day one.
And then for John, what do we have in here? You know you need another one of those.
Now I have two.
There you go. Wireless charging pad thing. Prescription safe style glasses. They look pretty cool actually. Nice.
What?
Oh, they're crystal
Feels
clear.
solid as well.
These ones have got rain on them.
Oh yeah, they suit you as well. So here's our little plug for Unilight and Safe Style. We have special codes in the discount. We have special codes in the discount that give you a code that gives you a discount.
What just happened?
Pull up!
There was a code in the discount.
So if you'd like a discount code for Unilight and Safe Style, check out the links in the description. We've got some great deals for you guys to get some amazing prices on Unilight and Safe Style gear. I do feel like they make us all look a lot more intelligent than we actually are.
What does that mean?
Especially Ruben.
With the beanie on.
He looks like surprisingly sophisticated.
You look like you want to order a really complicated coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does smell like sort of like 1990s urinal in a park kind of smell.
It's very
isn't it?
specific,
I've
Jordan.
never, yeah, I was gonna say, you wanna tell us something?
So as you've probably noticed, I'm back on the tools a lot more lately, and that's great. but I need to keep track of my business still while I'm out and about, and my Tradify app has been pinging off all day. Now, if you don't know about Tradify, it's the app that we use to basically run our business, to do quotes, invoices, to communicate with customers and book in jobs with the guys on site. So my Tradify pings when I get a new job booked in or a change of appointment, and it's just a really handy way to manage all of your work as a tradesperson. So if you'd like to find out more, Tradify has sponsored today's video kindly, and if you head to the link in the description below, you can get 50% off Tradify for your first 3 months using our special code. The weather is feeling decidedly less British right now, which is a good sign. Hoping that it will stay this way because we don't like working in the wet. But so far we've braved it, and let's go and see what the guys are up to.
Luckily, we've been able to get the cable underneath that step thing-majig, like lip, whatever you want to call it. The only thing is the data cable's a little bit looser, then it's not too great, but we'll sort something out for it. But the good news is it fits under there, so that'll be a lot easier than going through the step, and a whole lot easier than going round the step. So overall, it's a victory.
I would probably just drill through at an angle.
It's just because this is a bigger cable than we usually use, it's not as malleable, so it won't bend in the same way. So it wants to be shallow enough that it doesn't bulge this end, but not so shallow, yeah, that it doesn't, it's like a really, really long bit through the wall. I need to get this bad boy through, but I think that angle's could be too steep. I really hope they have a dryer in the hotel because I don't have a change of work clothes. It's going to be a very damp day tomorrow. It's worse for Ruben. Ruben has a toothbrush.
I've got my Bluetooth like earbuds, but just the case for them, so the buds must have fallen out. that was like instant depression when I opened that up and there was nothing in there. It was like, that's like if you wake up one morning and you're really hungry, you go to get some cereal and you open up the box and there's one Weetabix in there.
You notice how we were in the rain, struggling, getting dripped on by the most inept gutter ever, and boss man's in there nice and dry.
It's actually warm in there as well. I'm not even joking, it's actually warm in there.
Look at this.
So what we've got is these little nice sexy little screw caps just to give a nice neat finish. These boards just gonna give us a lovely neat finish on the wall. What I've done is measured it so that we can use full boards rather than having to cut them, but what that means is that this switch was actually in the way, so I've just taken that off the wall. I'm gonna put these boards on and then I'm gonna rerun the switch, but in a bit of conduit just to make it look a bit neater, just tidy it up. So we just checked our YouTube stats, and very exciting, we're just about to hit 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for all the support that you've given us, especially our long-time subscribers, but also those who found about the channel recently and you're watching our videos regularly now. We really appreciate you, thanks.
So basically, I woke up this morning and things have gone steadily downhill since then. We're just measuring this off and it's come damaged from the manufacturer. So boo Doncaster for that, and it's actually whacked it quite hard, and as you see it's hit the inner sheath as well. If it was just a little bit of a scuff or a little hole, we could probably put a bit of heat shrink over it and keep it, but that's too much of a knock. So we're gonna unclip all that cable I just clipped, pull it back from under the stairs 4 meters, put it back underneath there, and hopefully it's long enough. How do we move these out of the way? Who's green fingered? How do I move this without breaking it? Is that a weed, that one? Am I allowed to cut that one? Is that a weed?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. I'll move you over there a minute. Oh, that's triggering me a little bit. Ugh. Have you heard of typophobia? It's hot patterns. Oh my God. And it's something. I have to type it in and then I get scared because I've got to look at the scary patterns. It's like, it looks like rotten flesh.
Trypophobia.
Does that give you nightmares?
It's not that bad, but it's close to it. Just Google it and you'll get like, you'll see the horrible patterns. I really don't like looking at them.
What, that?
You get to see the circles in it.
Oh. Okay.
Mank it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Honestly, that is so triggering. Oh, it's just horrible. Literally, I'd crash my car if someone showed me that. Oh.
Should we see if Jordan has it?
Does it make you feel uncomfortable?
I used to have nightmares about stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't look at it. It really freaks me out.
Oh, yeah, it makes the spine tingle, doesn't
Oh,
it?
really?
So we're basically debating whether that they should just strip off and do some sunbathing. Let us know in the comments.
We're trying to dry.
No, we're debating whether this cable is going to be long enough or not. It's a little bit tight because I actually originally planned to put all the battery and stuff in this side, but this morning when I turned up, the customer said, oh, I thought we were putting it on the other side. So I said, yeah, no problem, we can do it. And now this cable's probably going to be about 50 centimetres too short. So we're going to either just try it, and if it's too short, we'll just have to get a longer one. But this is the thing with the solar. To make a neat job, we kind of really have to plan everything out. So now I'm like, okay, what height is the consumer unit going to be? Where's the inverter going to be? I need to mark all that out to know which route we're going to take with this cable in order to bring it in neatly into the consumer unit. So there's quite a lot of thinking ahead and planning, which is why I've had quite a lot of sleepless nights in the last week or so. But we will get there in the end.
I'm just shaking my fist angry at the sun.
What are you?
Well, at least it's making my new Safe Style glasses go black.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
Oh, what, we're getting a Safe Style sponsor? Safe Style.
So I'm just trying to do some accurate measurements here and plan where everything's going to go so that when we bring the cable through, it'll come at exactly the right height. So we've got our little fuse box consumer unit here, 6-way consumer unit. Obviously we want to mount that in a convenient place to get the supply cable in and then the cable out to the EV charging point, but also from here we're going to be running the circuit for the battery, the circuit for the mod bus, and then we're going to be putting in a little network switch as well to distribute the internet connection out to the Zappi and to the solar and battery inverter and stuff. I just want it to look absolutely perfect, but it takes quite a lot of thought to get it spot on. So basically the idea with this is that we use this trunking to kind of neatly run a lot of the cabling. So I'm just cutting it to the right length, and then I'm going to hopefully put this consumer unit under that, and then we can run a lot of the outgoing circuits out of that. We can take our feed in from the board into the side here. The EV Ultra cable we can take into the trunking, and inside the trunking we can split the CT wires and the power cables. So it's just a really nice neat way of kind of doing that and hiding all the cables. So, you know, I'm being so precise with my measurements and everything. I didn't think about the door, did I? So the door won't close now, so I've got to shorten that trunking slightly. I was just literally offering up the switch. I was like, oh, let me make sure the door closes with the switch. But of course, the trunking's far too long. So this is where the edge of the battery's going to go, and we're going to need a conduit sort of dropping down somewhere near the edge. So I'm thinking I'll get this as close to this wall as I can to give us plenty of space. And then I'll take the two armoured cables, the one coming in, I'll take that like straight in here. The inverter can go up here, up the top. Then that box is for the mod bus. And we've got a couple of data cables that we've got to put in place. A couple of data sockets, one that will go out to that Zappi, one is the incoming. And then we'll have this little thing here, which needs a socket. So we need another surface box with a single socket for that. So as you can see, there's a heck of a lot of stuff that needs to go in here. But I think consumer unit first, get that on the wall, and then we can work from there. So I'm just trying to get all the data side of things mounted up, ready to go. So this is our Ethernet switch, 5-port switch. I'm putting a single socket in here for it so that we can power it up from that neatly. And then what I'm going to do is run two data sockets. So there'll be the incoming data socket basically, which will be here, and we'll have a patch cable going from that into the switch. Then there'll be the outgoing data socket to the Zappi, which will be here. that'll be patched in as well. And then we can add a third one if we need to for the solar and battery and stuff, and patch that in as well. But we'll leave that a little bit later. So I'm just going to get these boxes mounted on, and then everything's kind of prepped, ready to put the cable in. We do need a switch fuse connection unit as well for the mod bus, so that'll probably go on the top there, and we'll have probably one circuit for this socket and the mod bus together, I think, because that's going to have its own isolator anyway.
Right, so we've managed to get both ends fixed now between the tubes. We've just got it leaned up the wall. We'll get a couple of metal clips in as well, just to hold it in place. Now we're working from this fixed point away to the zappy, so Ruben's cleating the cable along the top, and I've got to go through yet another wall, so it's lots of drilling again just to get these two cables through. Right, so today we're using a 10mm EV Ultra. It's the first time we used it, so we've had to use this due to the length of the run, so we're going to get quite a severe volt drop over this distance. It's armoured as well because it's going through a duct, as well as this the Cat 5 SWA as well, just because we're going underground as well to give it that extra protection. So it's made our life quite difficult trying to get it in and around on this cable route, because you can see it's not as malleable as the high tough 4mm that we normally use. So yeah, fun stuff.
So I have a secret confession. In another life, I was an entomologist, and I get very excited when I see things like this. So this is a vapour moth. This is the female, and she doesn't have any wings, and she basically hatches out of this cocoon here, and she crawls out. She puts out a scent to attract the males. The male comes and mates with her, and then she lays her eggs on the outside of the cocoon, and then she dies, basically. Pretty sad life, but a little bit rare. I've not seen one for a while, so it's quite exciting to see. So all these little eggs will hatch out into tiny little caterpillars and go off foraging in the trees around. So, got those holes through across the fireplace now, so that's good. Cable route through to here. Now we've got to pop out this way. It's a bit dusty, but managed to get through, so I've got to figure out the route now out of here and back to the consumer unit. What I'm going to do here is basically look at where we're going to run the cable. I think we'll clip it along this course here. Now let me know in the comments, guys. I feel like I can never win here, right? So when it comes to clipping cables, do you drill the course, which a lot of people say you shouldn't do because it can crumble, or do you drill the brick? I prefer to drill the course just because I feel like it looks neater if you run along with the course than if you run in the middle of the brick. For example, here the bricks are all over the place, and there's no kind of way of getting a nice centre line. Whereas if you follow the course, at least your eye, follows the natural line of the bricks. And also you're going to end up drilling through the course to take your cable through the wall. So therefore it's going to be in line if you do that. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm going to drill the course, but let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. Health and safety! So this is where we've got to basically put it through 1, 2, 3 walls to get to the other side of the house. So because it's quite a smooth run, I think if we pull enough slack on this side, we might manage it with a one-person pull, but otherwise we're going to have to get John and Ruben to give us a hand. This is when we're going to find that this 10mm armoured is actually a foot too short, and I'm going to have to pull it all the way back again. I reckon it's going to be just long enough, so there's a little bit of slack here we can pull back if needed. And now we've got to try and drill from outside in to get the cable into the consumer unit.
Struggling to get the cable through the wall, so we're just going to use this twin and earth as a draw wire and hopefully get a bit of leverage, a bit of lube on it. Absolutely flew through. Just get my knife. Oh, Jordan took my tape, didn't he? Thief. And she comes. Go along! Because we pulled the cable both ways, we've got a little bit of slack back on the other end, and it's just pure luck that it's managed to reach here. So our gland's going to go on around here, so this damaged bit of SWA is actually going to come off, and it's just going to be the inner cores. So when we do our insulation resistance test, hopefully it'll be clear to the sheath. It doesn't look like it's gone through, but that's really mucked up our day today. that amongst many other things, to be honest. It's not been the best day and the weather's not been on our side either. Just want to go home.
Well, I nearly lost the will to live today on that job. It has been a bit of a headache, but we've got through the day and we're ready for another one tomorrow. So make sure you like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, because this is going to be a themed project going forward for a few more videos ahead as well. So please join the Artisan movement, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Is roughly where we're aiming for. Oh, what's that? Is it gone?
What are you talking about?
There's a bee. There's a bee like went down my collar. It's like a bumblebee.